The Consumer Price Index report is a tough report card and the pain most Americans are feeling. The cost of food rose 0.2 in July, including a 0.1% increase in groceries.
Prices aren't going to go down. Inflation is coming down. Prices are going up. And I think that's very hard to digest.
The slightly softer than expected report comes as Fed policymakers contemplate when to start cutting interest rates. Amid signs the economy is cooling, Fed Chair Jerome Powell has said a September reduction is, quote, on the table. And although inflation has cooled a bit, millions of Americans, again, still struggling to afford the basics due to high prices.
Oliviana Calmes is in St. Louis. And Oliviana, can you walk us through what the data is telling you?
Matthew, Hannah, well, the Consumer Price Index is showing an overall improvement for inflation, but essentials are still have a high price tag. So the CPI index measures price change over time for an array of goods and services. Right now, the inflation rate sits at 2.9%. So that's below 3%, which we haven't seen since March of 2021. But I talked to shoppers here who tell me that they don't feel that drop at all yet. Inflation had a peak in June of 2022 when it hit 9.1%. May, June, and July this year have been pretty consistent, though. In July, energy costs, which include gas, remained flat, so commutes to work are still feeling pricey. I spoke to one woman who said for her, inflation still hits hardest at the gas pump.
I don't live very close to my job, so I feel like I'm always filling up on gas. I just kind of suck it up. Out closer to me, it seems to be cheaper than versus in the city because I live out kind of more rural, so I try to get my gas out there versus the city.
In July, the CPI showed overall food costs stayed close to where they were. They went up just 0.2% since June, but there were some sharp increases in certain foods. You can see eggs are up about 19%. Beef is up 4.5%. Hot dogs up almost 10%. Bacon up over 8%, and butter up about 6%. One man telling me he now has to buy and eat less because of high grocery prices.
Right down to growing things at home in terms of vegetables and fruits, and and really getting into that, as well as discount places where we can find it, couponing, whenever we can.
Of course, we're watching the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York did report that Americans do expect to spend less this coming year. In St. Louis, Missouri, Oliviana Calmes, Fox 13 News.